Brooklyn, and ultimately KD made the decision to go along. I'm not accusing him of following Kyrie or anything like that, but he made the decision to go to Brooklyn, and obviously Kyrie is his own man, and he was making that decision as well. In this case, you're talking about LeBron and AD in Los Angeles with the Lakers, and what does Kawhi do? I'm trying to contend for a championship. I am not trying to go there by myself. So if you want me, Los Angeles Clippers, not only do I want you to get a star, I have the star that I want you to get. He's from Palmdale, California, all right? He grew up near me as well. We're both California natives. I want this dude right here who just committed to the Oklahoma City Thunder a year ago, fresh off of averaging 28 and 8, not just in the regular season, but 28 in the postseason. He's considered one of the best two-way players in the game. Paul George is a superstar in his own right, and supposedly he was supposed to be with Russell Westbrook for years to come. I want you to go get him and bring him to Los Angeles with me, and I will come and be a Clipper. That is a power move of epic proportions. It puts, the Brooklyn move with Kyrie and KD in the back burner. And right now, the focus of the basketball world has descended upon LA because of it.
Stephen A., what do you make of this move by Kawhi, not only going to the Clippers, but also getting Paul George to leave the Thunder and join him?
Well, I think it was a power move of epic proportions, and I think one of the people that you can credit, obviously, is LeBron James in a roundabout way. The fact that he's in L.A. at the Staples Center, the fact that he's in L.A. at the Staples Center and ultimately facilitated Anthony Davis arriving in Los Angeles with him, put the Clippers in a tremendous bind. Clearly, they wanted Kawhi Leonard desperately. And if you're the Clippers, you've got the richest owner in the sport. Your right-hand man is arguably the greatest executive in the history of the sport. And you have a Hall of Fame caliber coach in Doc Rivers. You've got all of that at your disposal. And still, you're the fair-weather stepchild compared to the Los Angeles Lakers because all the stars came to them instead of you. Obviously, the Clippers could not allow that. So that's why not only was Kawhi Leonard able to facilitate his arrival in L.A., but he did so by ensuring that Paul George arrived with him, and the Clippers were willing to surrender what amounts to 5 first-round picks and 2 players. Unbelievable move on Kawhi Leonard. Unbelievable power play. Go to Brooklyn, and ultimately KD made the decision to go along. I'm not accusing him of following Kyrie or anything like that, but he made the decision to go to Brooklyn, and obviously Kyrie is his own man, and he was making that decision as well. In this case, you're talking about LeBron and AD in Los Angeles with the Lakers, and what does Kawhi do? I'm trying to contend for a championship. I am not trying to go there by myself. So if you want me, Los Angeles Clippers, not only do I want you to get a star, I have the star that I want you to get. He's from Palmdale, California, all right? He grew up near me as well. We're both California natives. I want this dude right here who just committed to the Oklahoma City Thunder a year ago, fresh off of averaging 28 and 8, not just in the regular season, but 28 in the postseason. He's considered one of the best two-way players in the game. Paul George is a superstar in his own right, and supposedly he was supposed to be with Russell Westbrook for years to come. I want you to go get him. We're not talking about just the 41 nights a year when the Los Angeles Lakers have a home game. We're talking about the 41 nights a year the Clippers have a home game too. So essentially, 81 nights a year of basketball in L.A. is going to, attract the eye of the basketball world. I don't think Brooklyn's move compares to that, KD and Kyrie in Brooklyn. It doesn't compare to what Kawhi. I think he's going to come back like a monster next year and just wreak havoc. Him with Anthony Davis obviously is incredibly formidable. But then you look at the Clippers collectively. You know what Kawhi could do. You know what Paul George could do. You re-signed Patrick Beverley. Zubac was 21 years of age when the Lakers traded him, a 7-footer who could play a little bit. But Michael, the Los Angeles Lakers or the Los Angeles Clippers can both make an argument that they're legitimate favorites for the title this year. Both teams in Los Angeles, it's literally a pick'em right now.
There you have it. Once again, Stephen A. Smith helping us make sense about the craziness after a huge night in the
news of Kawhi Leonard to the Clippers with Paul George in this trade. Well, it's amazing. We've been hearing little rumors about this for the past couple days, but nothing solid enough for our reporters to put out there. But, you know, we have these back discussions, right, when we're sitting around waiting for all this news to come in, meaning, okay, if this really happened, if Paul George really was going to get that trade from Oklahoma City and go to the Clippers with Kawhi, what price is too high for the Clippers? What do you think the trade would actually be? And what I've been saying for the past couple of days is there's no price too high. The thing is that by making this deal, the Clippers aren't just trading for Paul George. You can think of all those picks and pick swaps, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he just tweeted the other day, has 2 healthy shoulders now and is ready to roll.
Rachel, think about how the landscape has changed, big picture now in the NBA. We went into last season thinking about this Warriors dynasty and would there be any competitive balance in the short term? And in the process of one off season, everything has changed and there's competitive balance all over the league now.
Absolutely, and just think about what that Brooklyn team is going to be when Kevin Durant gets healthy. This is the thing about the NBA. We have a lot of discussions about going forward and what's the future going to be, and people saying, oh, I don't even need to watch. I know what's going to happen. I heard so many times, Dan, over the last 6 months, I don't even need to watch. We know what's going to happen. Guess what? The Golden State Warriors did not win the title in June. The Toronto Raptors did, which is something to think about at this time last year, right? I mean, you never would have expected it. Toronto hadn't even made the trade for Kawhi yet. Now, a year later, Kawhi Leonard is an L.A. Clipper.
And LeBron James.
Absolutely. And look, they knew this was a high-risk gamble for a couple reasons, not the least of which is the longer they waited for Kawhi, the more other free agents they missed out on. They have this cap room that they had sort of scrounged and gathered together to get Kawhi Leonard. But if they didn't get Kawhi Leonard, they knew that they could at least spend that on some really good complementary role players. The problem is a lot of those role players that they would ideally have loved to have on the Lakers with Anthony Davis and LeBron James have been snapped up by other teams in the last 5 days. So there are still some guys who have been waiting, frankly, for this decision, waiting on Kawhi, not because they necessarily want to join where Kawhi was going to go, but because they knew that the two teams that didn't get Kawhi would suddenly have more room, especially the Lakers. The question now is, who are the Lakers going to get? Are some of the guys who waited going to fall their way? Can they fill out a team, and can they do it quickly? Because once the trade for Anthony Davis, you are sending 100% out. But that means that their cap room will shrink. So it's unclear if those trades are going to start executing right away at noon tomorrow, which is when they officially can start. The league has a whole big backlog of trades to get through, and also some of the teams involved may be able to give the Lakers some grace period. They may choose to, they may not. But that is another element now that Rob Pelinka is going to have to juggle. Not only has he missed out on Kawhi Leonard, he is going to have to try to fill that space with complementary role players for LeBron and AD, and there's a clock on him. He's going to have to try to do it quickly.
And what about the Raptors? They go from the elation of an NBA title with Kawhi Leonard, trying to recruit him to stay with offers of free meals forever if he stays from Toronto restaurants.
Free meals, apartments, boats, whatever you want.
Everything, all the incentives, but now they have to get over it.
Raptors fans who I spoke to in the last week or so had a pretty good attitude. He did his job. He was a total pro, and he won them the franchise's only NBA title. So I think there's definitely disappointment in Toronto, and the fact that he flew back to Toronto to take his meeting with the Raptors. I'm sure in his mind that was, hey, I want to be a good guy. I want to cross all the T's, dot the I's, go see them on their terms, on their turf. It did serve to get some of the Raptors fans' hopes up, right, though, when he came to Toronto, and there were people waiting outside the hotel. So that little mountain and valley is going to have to pass. But I think in the end, even the fans who are disappointed will be grateful for what he did while he was there with them.